All right, everybody. Why am I blurry? There. Today is the big day. Today is election day, November 3rd, 2020, Tuesday. Um, we are about 19 minutes from the first poll closings. Um, I made an election prediction video yesterday. I don't know if that has actually um, been has actually come out yet, or because it's it was weird. I was having troubles getting it uploaded. It was like caught at it did upload. Okay, um, so I was having trouble getting it uploaded. Um, it was like stuck at like 72% for the longest time, but it looks like it did finally upload. So I uploaded that earlier, and yeah, I it's we'll see what happens tonight. I am watching Florida like a hawk because it's very likely that we won't definitively know a winner from a lot of the big three Midwest states: Michigan, Pennsylvania, Wisconsin. I know Michigan of those three is going the most smoothly and is the most likely to have their votes or their vote in or be most confident in being able to declare a winner tonight. The other two might not be. But like I talked about in my prediction yesterday, if Biden wins Michigan and Florida, the election's over. I mean, there's no path for Trump that doesn't involve some wacky like him winning Minnesota. But how would he win Minnesota if he has won Michigan? It's not going to happen. If Biden wins Michigan and Florida, Biden wins the election. So and Biden could lose Florida and still win those three Midwest states, and he wins the election. So, it's we'll see what happens. Um, it's going to be interesting to see to at the very least, and anxiety inducing in a way. Um, so I'm gonna wait and see when when we get some election or some results in from Florida. I'll be watching those. It's probably going to skew Democratic at first because they like the first votes that are counted are the mail-ins, but things are looking good for Biden in Florida, better than I thought. I mean, it's just I don't even know really what to trust honestly, but I'm seeing some things on Twitter that it seems like he might have a lead depending on party affiliation stuff, and doesn't seem like Republicans are really turning out as much as they really needed to overcome the Dems' lead in early voting. But we'll see. That could be totally wrong. Could be totally off. Um, it's gonna be interesting to see. But Florida's my most watched state tonight, followed probably by Michigan, North Carolina potentially, um, and we'll see if those other two Midwest states are anywhere close to being close or close to being decisive. But yeah, I will jump back in here when if there's any news updates. So we'll see. Okay, so about 35% of the vote in Florida is in, and Joe Biden currently has about a 50, I believe 50.4 or 50.7. I think it's 50.4. 50.4% of the vote in Florida so far, with 35% reporting. Not over by a lot, any stretch, but he seems, if things hold up as they are now, he seems to be overperforming Clinton's numbers. And he does not have to overperform them by much, but we'll see what happens. Man, Florida, man, watching Florida election coverage will give you a freaking heart attack. Back and forth, back and forth. About 65% of the vote is in now, and Biden has come on, go back to the main thing. He's underperforming in Miami-Dade County, which is not good. Or he looks as though he is, but that could be misleading because apparently it's in-person voting right now that is predominantly being counted. Come on, go back to the main thing here. Come on. They're not gonna. Come on, go back. Biden's up by about a percent. Okay, Biden's up right now, 50.4% to 48.7%. We'll see what happens. Orlando hasn't even come in yet, so that's going to be another big boost. Trump seems to be underperforming um, in Miami, but he is overperforming a little bit in the suburb counties, older counties. So I can't say for sure what's going to happen. There's a lot of red counties in North Florida that I haven't seen, that haven't even reported yet. So we'll see, but it's crazy. So I've become less confident that Biden will win Florida, but he's looking to be kind of really running ahead of Trump in a lot of counties in Ohio. But again, a lot of this is probably early votes, if I had to imagine. So, 22% reporting. Biden currently has 60% of the vote. I don't see that holding, but I mean, he's got a 300,000 vote lead right now, which is pretty. I mean, this puts him above where I thought he would be at this point. Ohio could be going blue. I know it's early, and I think a lot of these votes are early votes, but I mean, Biden right now has is up by about 13% with 36% of the state reporting. That's a lot. I don't know. Okay, so Florida's pretty much gone for Biden, but North Carolina looks really good at this point for him. He's got about 62% of the vote in, and he's up by a couple 100,000 votes. Ohio still looks good with about 44% of the vote in. These will narrow up as more in-person votes are counted, I assume. And so, oh, and then also Texas. Texas has about 45% of the vote in, and Biden's leading by a few 100,000 votes by about 6%. Again, that's the early voting, mail-in voting that largely favors Democrats. So I wouldn't, I would take that with a grain of salt. Dog break. Hey, Babs. Love you. You're a good boy. You enjoying watching election coverage? No? Okay. So it is much later, and I was really hoping to be able to give you guys a definitive result one way or another here tonight, but that's not going to happen. It has been a long day. I've been staring at screens for hours upon hours. I mean, ever since I got home at like 5:30, and it's about 4:30 right now, so 11 hours. Basically constant staring at screens, whether it's my phone or the TV. I had a couple breaks for food in there, but yeah, this it was crazy all night. Biden definitely did not have any sort of a big win. He is underperforming his polls. I think that's safe to say. He still has a path to victory. If he can pull off, he's currently down in Wisconsin, Michigan, and Pennsylvania. But to be fair, there are a lot of mail-in ballots that skew heavily Democratic that still need to be counted. But he's behind in all three of those states. If he can win two of those, he can win. He can win with just Wisconsin and Michigan. He would end up with 270 electoral votes. Again, winning by the razorest of razor-thin margins. But it's doable. Again, if he wins Pennsylvania, it's essentially a moot point, but basically needs 2 out of 3 of those states. Pennsylvania looks rough. There are, again, a lot of heavily Democratic ballots that still need to be counted. I just don't see enough there. I could be wrong. I'm not a mathematician slash election analyst dude. Um, Surprisingly enough, Georgia is also still fairly competitive. I mean, there are a lot of suburban votes that still need to be counted in Georgia. I mean, not a lot. There's like 90% of the vote in right now, 92%. But if those skew heavily to Democratic, Biden could come at least within half a point of victory in Georgia or potentially even win, which is nuts. I don't think he'll end up pulling it out. I did predict that I thought Georgia would be close. I predicted Biden to actually win it. It was sort of my one going out on a limb thing that I picked. Just I had a weird feeling about Georgia. It remains to be seen whether or not it will actually flip, but you know, we'll see. The president also, I feel like it's worth mentioning, came out and said that we should stop counting votes just because he's ahead, basically. Um, and that's just, again, just, I mean, do I really have to say it? Don't we know how just, you know, authoritarian that is to be like, oh, I'm ahead. Let's stop counting these legally casted votes. It's just, whatever, man. I mean, Biden was not, is not the world's best candidate. And he might still pull this out, but I mean, it's just insane how, you know, hundreds of thousands of dead Americans and, you know, uh, and it's this close is just insane. But anyway, we'll see what happens. Again, got to count the votes. It ain't over, and there's overseas military ballots that still have to come in, stuff like that. Um, it's just insane to me how you know an incumbent president can just say, let's stop counting votes. And I mean, I hope that you know gets a bunch of negative coverage tomorrow. Not even just in the media, but by people in general. But it probably won't, because half the country. I mean, it's obvious now. Half of the voting population, or at least a good 45 to 47%, um, is massively pro-Trump, and I think it speaks to how good Trump did in this cycle. Speaks to how Biden's strategy of appealing to moderate Republicans was not the best and not the safest way to go. I think that if Biden had really leaned more heavily into trying to unlock turnout in that 30% of the Democratic base that is very progressive, the Bernie Sanders, um, you know, wing of the Democratic Party, if he had really focused on turning them out, I think that I mean that is a bigger chunk of voters than the never Trumpers are. I mean, that's just, why would a conservative Republican vote for Biden when they can vote for Trump? Okay, they might not like the way Trump tweets, they might not like how unpresidential he is, but at the end of the day, that's not going to get them, at least a large portion of them, a significant portion of them, to flip to vote for Joe Biden. And I think that is where you see sort of the fatal flaw in both the Democratic candidate's strategy and also in the Democratic candidate themselves. Joe Biden I believe. Well, sorry, I was out of frame. It's been a long day. Joe Biden is a flawed candidate. He is not as flawed as Clinton was in 2016, is why I think you're seeing a tighter race in 2020 than in 2016. But I mean, let's be fair. The only state that Biden has flipped so far is Arizona, and I mean that's a good flip. But at the same time, if you can only flip one state, you know, from Clinton's total, I feel like that's a pretty substantial failure. Again, remains to be seen. I still feel like Michigan and Wisconsin both have a decent shot of flipping. It's not going to be easy, but there are so many votes left in Milwaukee and Detroit that are just sitting there waiting to be counted, and I hope that they're given an opportunity to be counted. Because if they're not, then this country has truly fallen out of being a democracy or a republic, whichever you want to call it. It is completely flipped into, you want to call it an oligarchy, um, autocracy, authoritarian state, whatever. I mean, if you can't count legally cast votes, then you got nothing. So we'll see what happens. We'll see what happens. You know, I thought I was being fairly conservative with my final prediction of Biden 306 electoral votes, but I don't know. I mean, I think it could still happen theoretically if he won Michigan, Wisconsin, Pennsylvania, and Georgia, but I think that's pretty unlikely at this point. So anyway, we'll see what happens. Again, wish the country luck. I am so tired. My eyes probably look super tired. Anyway, I hope you guys had a good day. I'm sure it was a stressful day, regardless of what side you're on. Um, and yeah, let's move forward. Let's count our votes and see who comes out on top at the end of this. I will continue to discuss the ramifications of the outcome of the election for at least until we know who the winner is. So anyway, have a good one, guys, and I'll see you tomorrow. All right, bye.